This is one of my all-time favorite iPhone features that you've probably never heard of, but you'll be using it every single day after I show you. This feature comes into play anytime you're editing or typing text on an iPhone. Anytime you need to make a change and you're trying to tap the exact spot you want to get the cursor, instead of doing that, hold down the space bar and it will open a laptop-like trackpad where you could precisely place the cursor exactly where you need it and then make any changes you need. This makes typing so much more efficient on the iPhone, and you can do it absolutely anywhere. If you want to give it a try, go ahead and do it in the comments in this video. And if you're feeling generous, leave that comment on this video because it helps a lot with the algorithm. Let me know if you guys have heard of this before, if you currently use it, what you think of it, and follow along for more weird nerdy tech videos. Bye! If you own both a MacBook and an iPad, you need to watch this because I'm going to show you a feature that most people don't know about and are missing out on big time. That feature is called Sidecar, and it lets you use your iPad as a second monitor for your MacBook. You can either do this wired or wirelessly. You'll see here it works exactly like a second monitor. You can drag windows between them, use your mouse and keyboard on it. It is absolutely amazing, and here's how you do it. All you need to do is turn on your MacBook and your iPad and make sure they're signed in on the same Apple ID. This part's very important. After that, go over to any window on your Mac and hover over the green maximize dot. You'll see a new option pop up. It's called Move to iPad. All you need to do is click on that, and that's literally it. You'll see here I now have a second display on my iPad. That's all you got to do. It behaves exactly like you would expect a second display to. You can see you can move your mouse in between them here. You can drag windows. It's just like you'd be used to. If you need to change any of the settings, like where the iPad is on the table relative to the Mac, you can go up at the top here and click the new display tab that pops up, and that'll let you adjust some of the more finite settings about the display. If you're having issues with this, go on your iPad, go to General, then go to AirPlay and Handoff, and make sure Handoff is turned on. This is going to need to be turned on for this to work. And that's it. Hopefully if you didn't know about that, it makes your life a little bit easier. Thanks for watching. So what is the difference between a router and an internet switch? If you don't know what this means, or if you want to learn a lot about home networking in a really short amount of time, watch this video because I'm going to break it down real easy for you. So in the last video, we talked about the difference between a modem and a router and how those work together to give your home internet. If you haven't seen that video, click that comment there to watch it. Now, in that video, we called this thing a router, and almost everybody calls this a router, but that is technically incorrect. The routers that we use at home are actually 3 separate networking components, all combined into one. So the first function that these routers have is an Ethernet switch, and you can see a picture of what a standalone Ethernet switch looks like here. All an Ethernet switch does is take an Ethernet cable and split it out into multiple ports. So you'll see here, if I plug this one Ethernet cable into here, it will split it out into multiple outputs. And that's all the switch does. It takes a single Ethernet cable that you normally have coming from your modem and then gives you multiple cables coming off that so you can hook up more than one device. Obviously very necessary, and that's why most consumer routers have one built in. The next piece of tech built into our consumer routers is what's called a wireless access point. You can see here what a standalone access point might look like when it's not built into a router. This is a style that you'll commonly see in businesses and such. Take a look in cafes, you'll probably see something that looks like this. All the wireless access point does is convert the signal from a wired signal into a wireless signal so you can access the device on the other end. In theory, you can go right from your modem directly to a wireless access point, and the signal will go from the access point down to the cable and into your modem. You'll probably see why these things are starting to all come together here. You obviously want more than one wired device, and you obviously want wireless access, which brings us to the third device in the router, which funny enough is actually the router. What we call a router is just one of the 3 devices in the router. Now, what the actual router is the brains and the computer inside here that's routing all the traffic to different places, determining what data packets go where and to what device. If we go back to the switch and the access point, between these two, you could have 20, 30 different devices connected. What the router's going to do is make sure all of that data is dispersed properly to the right devices and ingested properly, all in the right way, in the fastest way possible. All these do is just blindly split the signal and give access to it. The router determines where everything goes and make sure that happens as fast as possible. I'm not going to go super deep on routers because they're actually very complex and they serve a bunch of different purposes, but the main other one is security. Because all the data is flowing through your router's computer, you're able to put up a firewall in between that layer and filter all the data that comes in and out of your network before it reaches the end devices. This is one of the most important parts of routers. In a higher level networking setup, the router is literally a standalone computer with one Ethernet port in and one Ethernet port out. The in port comes directly from the modem, and then the out port is then filtered to the access points and the switches to then disperse all the devices elsewhere through your network. In conclusion, not to say these all-in-one routers are bad, they actually serve their purpose fantastically, but it's important to understand all the different components and going on in here should you ever want to upgrade things or end up breaking things out, it's very possible to build a home network with all these separate components to focus your upgrades and change the specs out in the spots that you need them. If you have any other questions on networking or anything at all, please let me know. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all of ya.